Namaste and welcome to our channel, where we explore the depths of spirituality, dispel myths, and bring clarity to misunderstood topics. Today, we're diving into a topic that has fascinated, confused, and even misconceptions people for centuries: Kundalini, the human potential energy. Kundalini energy has been revered in yogic traditions as the mother energy of life, a powerful force that, when awakened, transforms human consciousness. However, misconceptions abound, largely propagated by commercialized spiritual teachers who misrepresent its nature. Many associate it with sexual energy because it is located near the sacral chakra, which governs reproductive functions. However, it encompasses much more than sexual energy. Contrary to popular belief, Kundalini is not sexual energy, but life force energy residing in cerebrospinal fluid. Scientifically, it influences the nervous system, brain function, and energy flow throughout the body. Rooted in Shiva Sutras and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, Kundalini is not inherently dangerous, but rather a profound path to higher awareness. Scientific studies suggest that Kundalini activation involves the autonomic nervous system, particularly the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches, and the reticular activating system in the brainstem, which regulates wakefulness and consciousness. Autonomic nervous system activation. Kundalini experiences often involve sensations of heat, vibrations, or energy movement along the spine, which align with the activation of the sympathetic nervous system, responsible for heightened states of alertness, and the parasympathetic nervous system, linked to deep relaxation and altered states of consciousness. Brainwave changes. Studies using EEG have shown that Kundalini awakening is associated with gamma waves, which are linked to heightened awareness, creativity, and expanded consciousness, not just sexual arousal. Bioelectrical and electromagnetic studies. Some researchers have studied biophotonic emissions, weak electromagnetic fields produced by living beings, and found that deep meditation, often associated with Kundalini awakening, increases these emissions, suggesting energy movement beyond sexual arousal. Heart-brain coherence. The HeartMath Institute has conducted studies on how meditation and breathwork, key components of Kundalini practices, can synchronize heart rate variability and brainwave activity, leading to heightened states of intuition and awareness beyond physical pleasure. Psychological and cognitive effects. Studies on mystical experiences. Neurological studies on people who have undergone Kundalini awakenings suggest increased activity in the temporal lobes, similar to mystical or transcendental experiences recorded in fMRI scans of monks and meditators. Cognitive benefits. Research shows that Kundalini practices improve memory focus and emotional resilience, suggesting a profound impact on brain function rather than just reproductive processes. Kundalini and the endocrine system. Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis. The HPA axis regulates stress emotions and hormonal balance. Kundalini practices stimulate the pineal gland, which produces melatonin and DMT related to altered states of consciousness, and the pituitary gland, affecting dopamine and serotonin levels linked to blissful experiences. Not limited to reproductive hormones. While the sacral chakra governs sexual energy, Kundalini energy also interacts with the adrenal glands for energy release, the thyroid for metabolism and communication, and the pineal gland for spiritual awareness, proving its broader effects. Kundalini energy is often misunderstood as sexual energy, but scientific analysis and historical evidence suggest it is human potential energy stored within cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF. While it originates near the sacral region, it plays a fundamental role in brain activation, consciousness expansion, and transcendental states rather than being confined to sexual functions. Kundalini and Brahmacharya, a mental discipline, not celibacy. In yogic traditions, Brahmacharya does not mean complete sexual abstinence, but rather mental control over sexual thoughts. The goal is to redirect focus from sensory pleasure to higher awareness, preventing the mind from being trapped in lower states of consciousness. Scientific basis research suggests that habitual sexual thoughts create dopamine addiction cycles, leading to external cravings. By practicing Brahmacharya, neural pathways are rewired, enhancing creativity, focus, and spiritual insight. CSF and energy flow. Yogic practices like Aswini Mudra, Mula Bandha, and Pranayama accelerate CSF movement, nourishing the brain and activating higher consciousness centers. Historical evidence. Most rishis and yogis were married. Examples of married rishis: Maharishi Vashistha, Atri, and Agastya lived with their wives while attaining deep yogic mastery. Maharishi Yajnavalkya, a Vedic sage, had 2 wives and was deeply spiritual. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that true brahmacharya is about controlling the mind, not suppressing instincts. Only rare figures like Rishi Shuka and Adi Shankaracharya remained lifelong celibates, emphasizing that spiritual evolution does not require physical celibacy, but rather self-mastery. Transforming sexual energy through yogic science. Rather than suppressing sexual energy, yogic practices transmute it into higher consciousness by enhancing cerebrospinal fluid circulation and brain activity. Scientific findings. Practices like Bhramari Pranayama, Kriya Yoga, and Bandhas accelerate cerebrospinal fluid movement, nourishing the pineal and pituitary glands. Meditation and deep breathing increase gamma wave activity, leading to enhanced cognition, intuition, and transcendental states. Many modern gurus claim that Kundalini awakening is destructive and difficult to control. This narrative is often used as a fear tactic to create dependency on external teachers. However, Shiva Sutras and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras do not describe Kundalini as harmful. Instead, they emphasize that gradual self-discipline leads to its harmonious awakening. As Kundalini rises through the chakras, practitioners encounter various siddhis, or psychic powers. These are often misinterpreted as supernatural abilities, but in reality, they are the result of neurological and psychological transformation. The lower chakras, Muladhara, root chakra, and Svadhisthana, sacral chakra, house latent subconscious forces. Boot Siddhi, mastery over lower vibrational energies. Yakshini and Yogini Siddhi, control over elemental aspects of nature. Karnapishachini Siddhi, the ability to hear subtle sounds. Are these external entities? No. These siddhis are projections of the mind, not separate beings. When properly mastered, these forces serve as tools rather than obstacles. Many modern gurus claim to open the third eye instantly, misleading people into believing that aura reading or spirit communication is enlightenment. True Ajna Chakra, or third eye awakening, results in knowing the past, present, and future, not just superficial psychic abilities. Historically, real yogis never commercialized Kundalini. They emphasized self-discipline and long-term inner work. When individuals with awakened lower chakras interact, their bioelectrical fields influence others. This can cause involuntary kriyas, or body movements, in people nearby, but it does not mean Kundalini is awakened. It is simply energy synchronization. If Kundalini were truly activated, one would feel its effects independently, even in solitude. Additionally, Many so-called gurus use hypnotic suggestion and mass psychology to create the illusion of Kundalini activation in group settings. By inducing a trance state through repetitive chanting, rhythmic breathing, or suggestive language, they can cause people to experience temporary physical reactions that mimic Kundalini symptoms. However, these are external influences, not true Kundalini awakening. True Kundalini energy arises from within and is not dependent on external triggers or collective environments. Mantra chanting. Repeating mantras daily for 2 to 3 hours can start to awaken Kundalini within a week. However, crossing the chakras takes much longer. Mantra selection. Avoid chanting mantras that invoke lower entities such as Bhuta, Preta, Yakshini, Karnapishachini, as the subconscious mind associates them with fear and negativity. These are not external spirits, but projections of the mind's own energy. Instead, focus on higher deities above the Manipura chakra. Recommended mantras. Om Namah Shivaya Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundaye Vichi. Meditation on Manipura chakra. Focusing on the Manipura chakra or solar plexus without chanting for 2 to 3 hours daily accelerates the process. Kundalini starts to awaken when the eyeballs stop moving in deep meditation. Instant awakening techniques. Some gurus claim to awaken Kundalini instantly through Shaktipat. While this may induce temporary experiences, it does not provide lasting transformation. One must practice on their own for sustained awakening. Damai and Jakri, or shamans, use instant Kundalini activation for healing and removing negativity, raising energy to Manipura chakra within 5 to 15 minutes. This is scientific, but over time it was misunderstood and labeled as superstition. I am going to provide the course on instantly opening Kundalini as soon as possible. True Kundalini awakening, a lifelong process. Kundalini ascension to Sahasrara, or crown chakra, takes years, even lifetimes. Lower chakras must be stabilized first, or the energy can create emotional and mental imbalances. Genuine yogis do not seek shortcuts. They embrace self-mastery and inner discipline. Conclusion. Kundalini is your own energy. Kundalini is not sexual energy. It is life energy stored in cerebrospinal fluid. It cannot be awakened by another person. It is an internal process. Fear-based narratives about Kundalini are used for profit, not truth. Lower chakras hold subconscious powers that serve us once understood. External entities are mental projections, and true awakening is about mastering one's own mind. Kundalini is the greatest untapped potential of human consciousness. Awakening it is not about seeking external teachers, but about deep self-exploration, discipline, and an unwavering quest for truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful insights on yoga, meditation, and spiritual awakening.